George R.R. Martin has just had an interview where he has mentioned his progress with The Winds of Winter. And well, it's not great.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the
procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Wait.
George R.R. Martin has now been working on this novel for the past 13 years, which is 5 years after the end of Game of Thrones and 4 years since he gave his fans permission to kidnap him if he didn't finish the books in time in 2020. So to say that this book is late is a complete understatement. Book fans are literally anticipating the release of this book as much as gaming fans are anticipating the release of GTA 6. And in fact, we've been waiting far longer than them.
It's been 84 years.
It's been a hard 13 years for both fantasy readers and A Song of Ice and Fire fans specifically. But after all the waiting, it turns out that it might have all been for nothing, because George R. Martin has said in an interview that he might never finish the book. So the question on everyone's mind right now is why? Why has George R. R. Martin not finished The Winds of Winter? And will he ever finish this book anytime soon? Well, I think that the number one reason that George R. Martin is taking so long to write the next book is obviously because he has writer's block. According to Wikipedia, and yes, I used Wikipedia.
Wikipedia? You're using Wikipedia as your source of information?
Writer's block describes a phenomenon where a writer is just unable to produce any work or is experiencing a creative slowdown. In other words, the writer feels stuck, and they are unable to write as a result of that. Judging from George R. Martin's past interviews and blog posts, it is pretty obvious that he is experiencing some severe form of writer's block. He has even admitted to having slow days where he sometimes doesn't write much of anything, and other days where he'll rip out complete chapters that he feels are just not good enough. It's likely that his writer's block is caused by the immense pressure that he gets from fans and critics to write an amazing book that will even surpass the epicness of the last 5. After all, The Winds of Winter is going to be a sprawling book with many characters and intriguing storylines. Whether it be the Dornish conspiracy with Doran and Aryan Martell, or the numerous battles that have been foreshadowed in Meereen, Old Town, and Winterfell, there's certainly a lot of pressure on George R. Martin to make The Winds of Winter a lot more epic than A Storm of Swords or any of his other book installments in the series. I think that this pressure is what is slowing him down in terms of writing, coupled with the fact that there are so many characters, which means that he's writing several novels at the same time. I think that this is a lot for him, especially at his old age. And speaking of age, I think that a lot of fans often don't really consider George R. Martin's age and how it might affect him in terms of writing these gigantic books. It's not just that old age slows him down in terms of him just being tired, but at that age, you're probably also experiencing a lot of death and grief around you as you lose a lot of your loved ones. And this is actually the case for George R. Martin. George has spoken openly about losing a lot of his childhood friends throughout the past 13 years. Friends that he grew up with and sometimes even wrote with. Just recently, he tragically lost his friend, Trent Zelazny, and earlier on this year, he lost his best friend John Miller to an illness. There have been many deaths and grief along the way, and I cannot imagine that any of these were easy for George. I think that these tragedies have affected him greatly, and that has also contributed to his writer's block. A lot of fans, in my opinion, can be very insensitive to his grief. A lot of us don't understand why he goes on trips or visits the set of The Hedge Knight, for example, but perhaps he does such things to try and distract himself from his anguish. When he's writing his books, he's all alone, but when he is outside, he is with other people, and he can be distracted or even happy for a while. In sad times like this, he's probably realizing how important it is to spend as much time with the friends that are still with him, and even to cherish his family and his wife while they're still around. For me, this is a valid reason to slow down progress with The Winds of Winter. But still, some people say that George is probably just tired of this whole story, and that he doesn't even want to continue with it anymore. They say that he is bored of these storylines, and that it's probably just too much for him. But I disagree. I think that George actually wants to finish these books, and that his enthusiasm for the story has not diminished throughout the years. The fact that throughout these 13 years, he published The World of Ice and Fire and then Fire and Blood just shows that he still truly loves writing in this world. George R. Martin has even said that he wishes to keep writing in this world after he is done with the series, if he ever finishes. I think that he wants to finish The Winds of Winter, but it's just very hard on him given the pressures and the grief in his life. Even he is surprised that he still hasn't finished the books, saying in an interview, "Unfortunately, I am 13 years late." Every time I say that, I'm like, how could I be 13 years late? I don't know. It happens a day at a time. But that's still a priority for me. A lot of people are already writing obituaries for me. They're saying, "Oh, he'll never be finished." Maybe they're right. I don't know. I'm alive right now, and I seem pretty vital. In my opinion, I think that we will eventually get The Winds of Winter, but perhaps the dream of spring will remain a dream for book fans unless another writer is assigned to finish it for him. But what do you think? Why do you think that George R. R. Martin is taking so long to finish The Winds of Winter? Let me know down below in the comments section, and hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for future content. Thank you for watching. Peace.